time. It's working now. You guys, we figured it out. I told you guys that we would be working on the fields, figuring out how to program those in a way to make people move slower or notify everyone. And also a player came to me in that map that I showed you guys before, the dungeons map. This is the dungeon. But he asked me, how do you make water? And I had never made water before, but I'd seen how some other people made water and I didn't really like it. So I figured I'd come up with something to give him and you and me. So I call this water actually magical confusing water, as you see in the sign down there. But this is water right here. It's just a field, and once you go in it, it says water and you gotta swim. So you obviously can't like fly and flap your wings or anything, but if you pull something, your gravity is obviously way lower, your movement speed is lower, and if you had a gun and likely even a grenade, it's going far. Yeah, it looks like the grenade even did a lot less damage than it should have done. So your damage goes way down in my water. I think that, and I've heard this from other people, I think that people should start doing more to their water in their maps. And with this video, I think a lot of people will. So all it is, like I said, is a field, and then you put the little scripts in that tell it to do what you want it to do. There is one other thing that I want to be able to work. It doesn't work right now the way it's programmed. Maybe I'm programming it wrong, and when I show you guys can tell me the way to do it, and likely it's just a bug, and also very likely I just did it wrong. So I'll show you. I want people to be able to get into the water and drown. I want them to drown slowly. It used to let you get in the water and start drowning, and then when you get out, you stop drowning. But sometimes it didn't work. Sometimes you would still be drowning, and sometimes if you got killed in the water while drowning, you would respawn drowning, even though you're not in the water. Hopefully those bugs get fixed, and maybe I'm just programming them incorrectly. What I think I'm going to have to do is I'm going to add a field that doesn't really do anything except for activate nothing, so that the drowning begins. So when I go in here and get this expert rifle DNA that I programmed, you're not going to get hurt by this, but since it's in the water, it's going to activate another part of the water's buff. You see, I'm losing health. I'm dying, you can see it. This is how you get rid of it. You just basically have to get out of the water. This functions properly. The problem is it doesn't come back unless you hit another field. So I'm in the water, but I have to hit another field. So once I go in the water, maybe I'll have to put an equal size field as the size of the water, just a few, like maybe a foot smaller than it. Let's go into Event Editor, show you guys how we made this water. So you guys, we're gonna have our thingy here, which is our control panel. And if you don't know, make sure you go to Edit Rules, turn on Advanced Editor. And then we're gonna go into Event Editor. Usually you gotta click it twice, but I did not click it twice that time. We're going to go back over to water as well. I'm going to hit that fly button and just jump over. Magical confusing water. The reason why I call it magical confusing water is because sometimes when you come out of that water, programming that I have on here kind of fails. And you will continue to have low gravity outside the water. You will continue to have low damage sometimes outside of the water. You will continue to, just have incorrect things going on with you that had to do with the water when you're outside of the water. So, and the way to fix that here is if you're losing health fast for no reason, every second, go in and out of water. Repeat until it works. So that's just pretty much how I've had to troubleshoot it. It's like if you start having a weird thing going on, you're probably going to rage quit. But if you don't rage quit and you read this at first, you'll never. So since we're in the event editor, we're at the water. We're going to click the water. Let's see what's going on. So what we did here was we made an enter function, which was water. Then we did an exit function, which I just named exit water. What do we have over here? We have our events in our event editor. We're gonna go down to the water. So what I did here was I had a trigger function, triggering player. Remember that, trigger function, triggering player. And then you have water. I just named it there because I don't want to get confused later. Apply buff. Water is a buff. It's a buff that I created. You're gonna have to create a buff over here, and we'll go show you how we made that. But then once we did that, we're also gonna play a sound so that people know that something happened when you went in the water. I wanted a splash sound, but I couldn't find one. So we're going to go into buffs so we can show you what we did with water. We have water right here. I'm going to expand that. So water is just, the name is water, and then the description is swim. It's not a whole lot you need to explain about that. And if you get into it, all these buffs I added is not going to be able to be read anyway, all the things, because they're going to run out of time to read it. It's likely that someone could stay in this water for over, 600 seconds, because there are different chambers that they can go and look for, and there's also like, other secret areas that they can access that have control points. Other than that, it's 600 seconds because I don't want it to be permanent, because if you get out of the water, you'll still have those weird things going on. Now this happened, and I also don't want it to be exclusive, because I still want you to hold some items. I still want you to be able to have some of those buffs that you had before when you jumped in, but still be debuffed once you get in the water at the same time. The icon is just, I made the icon here. I didn't make the icon. I just chose the icon, boom, boom, and then we did the colors. We just choose the colors by typing the name of the color. You don't have to type the numbers and letters. Movement speed multiplier. That's how we got it to go slower, obviously. So that's going to be when you guys get down to add a buff effect, additional buff effect. So you're going to keep adding that. So we did movement speed. I did 45%. You guys can do whatever you want for your water. And this is fields. This is not just for water. This is anything really. So I can change this field to fire rate multiplier. So while I'm in there, silence, I can x-ray vision, healing bullets, whatever. As long as, I have a water out or a trigger out, whatever your guys is called, then inside that field there, this stuff should happen and it should stop when you get out of it, theoretically speaking. So health regeneration per second, I have it at -1 because I want you to drown while you're in there. And that does work. You saw that it did work, but it doesn't work how we wanted it to work. And it did work differently before, but it's not working anymore. Gravity scale multiplier, I have that down to 45% so that you can feel like you're, floating in water or whatever. Silence, I did that so that, it simulates that you're underwater and it's harder for you to hear things. Obviously creatures in the water can hear a lot better than us, but we can't really hear that well in the water. Damage scale multiplier, I took that down to 33%, lower than 100%. So that means you're going to do less damage. No matter what you're doing in there, you're going to be shooting it out. So if you're up here shooting at somebody that's down there, it's in the water, then you're likely going to win that if name tags are on. If name tags are off, then you're going to want to get ICU, which is ICU through the, things. Anyway, fire rate multiplier is also down at 33%. So health regeneration per second is at -1. I added it again because it wasn't working. So I suppose we'll take it off and then let it go down here and then see if it works again. So we had it twice. And the reason why I did it twice is because it wasn't working. I guess we can test it again. Let's go ahead and test it again after we show you guys the other part of this, which is exit water or water exit.
When it go to tell you how to
explain to everybody. So let's say I jumped in the water and you wanted to notify everybody that, I got in the water. We just go ahead and add ourselves another group here. And then we'll just, from triggering player, see how we did triggering player from trigger function here, select. We're going to do all players. And then we're going to do a toast, show toast. And then you'll say, someone wet, add an action. And we'll also play a sound for everybody else. Well, the problem with this is everybody will hear it. So even the person jumping in the water. So, play sound is all the way at the bottom. What sound do we want to play? What sound is this? We'll do that. All right, so we'll go ahead and test it out. Make sure your water, my friends, has been set to enter function, which is the water we just made, blam, and then water exit. And then we'll show you the water exit. I think we already showed it to you yet. For water exit is trigger function, triggering player, remove buff, water. All right, let's add another action too. So let's have this group down here show to everyone, all players, and we'll do that toast again. But since he got out of the water this time, what will we say? Someone dried off. All right, someone dried off, or someone got out of the pool. People wanted to know how I was showing those texts in their battles, or in my battles. And that's how we do it. We show a toast, or a debug toast, and we're going to show it to all players, and we're not going to add a sound this time because I don't want to look for it. So now we're going to go ahead and test it. So we have water and water exit. Remember that. Press play, test game. Hopefully we end up over there somehow. We'll talk about these fields too. That's my roles. Okay, we went in. Someone's wet. Someone's dried off. Okay, so we went in real fast, but let's jump in this one so it's more clear. All right, someone's wet. All right, we're in here. So the health thing is still not depleting. Let's go and check and see if it works when we get into that other field. You walk so slow, in this water. Have to speed it up. So we're back here, expert rifle DNA, 300%. Oh, there goes my health again. I'm going down again. I'm a little faster though. I'll have to say that. I think. All right, so someone dried off. So that stuff works. See if we can go back in. Nope, doesn't work, you guys. So we have to add another field, like I said, and we'll go ahead and test that out as well. We see that the little toast worked. Now let's go test out the extra field, see if that works for us to solve this issue of not having a field. Welcome back. How do you do? Okay, what am I doing again? Okay, I'm doing this again. All right, so let's get ourselves a field, a fieldy wieldy. All right, let's test that out, see if it works. We just copied and pasted it. I'm a zombie. Really fast. All right, so let's check it out. Zombie should still, drown, I think. So we came in here. Didn't work. Didn't work. Okay, let's try this. So open up Event Editor and build another buff. Let us mess with water first. So let's mess with water. And let's see what we don't want on water right now. So that this isn't working. So health regeneration per second is not working. So we'll take that off. And now we're going to add another one. We're going to put drown. We're going to make one specifically for water. Drown. All right, gurgle. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to do that. So duration is going to be, we're just going to say 999 because you'll never be able to breathe underwater. And then we're going to do remove on death for sure. You're going to notify them. And then they're going to be like, ah, shoot, I'm dying. Wait, hold on. The icon. Whoa, they got new icons. You're getting death. Yeah, you're getting death. All right, so we'll just keep it black like that because you're doing that. You're dying. So health regeneration per second. We're going to do -1. That's the least I can do. Additional buff effect. We don't need an additional buff effect. We just have drown. Go back to events. And we're going to see if we can just add it as a buff here. So let's take off. Let's leave the sound. Let's add an action. We are going to apply another buff. And we're going to use drown. And see if drown works on its own. So we got the buff water and we have drown. So now we're going to apply it to a separate field. No, actually, we'll apply it because it's on the same field. So that's what we'll do. And then events. We have to come back to events and go to water exit. And we have to also remove the buff. Remove the buff. Drown. Because we don't want to continuously drown. Triggering player, remove buff. Remove buff. Let's see if it works stacked on one. It wasn't working stacked on one before when it was all condensed. So now that we unconsolidated it, I guess you could say, we are going to go test the game and see if we lose our health while jumping in. We still have the 2 fields, so we're going to keep that in mind. I don't want to take them apart yet. I could always just turn it off. Oh, geez. We'll run across. You guys, this is a tribute to my good friend, Draco's White Wolf. Guys, whenever you come on this map, or any of my maps, say a nice little thought for Draco's White Wolf, Rest in peace. I love you, bro. It's a tribute to him. He's the dragon of our world here. We love you, bro. Rest in peace. So to the water here. See if it does it. It's not doing it, you guys. So it says drown, but nothing's happening. You see. So let me see if I just touch one of these fields, what will happen. See if I just kind of get out of one. Okay, so look. No. Okay, so we're gonna have to go back and separate them. Different fields. Let's see what happens. So instead of doing that way, instead of rebuilding a whole one, we'll do it another way and see, because this way was working before, but it stopped. But we'll see if it's working again since the last update. Apply buff, water. All right, so drown. We'll take away drown. No, we'll keep drown on there just in case we can get a stacking, drown. That would be fine with me. Because then it'll be 2 instead of 1. So instead of add score, because that's what it's defaulted at, we're going to just damage player. See if, oops. No, because damage player doesn't do per second, right? Damage player. Maybe they have a new one though. I don't know what random, variable OP value, OP value. What's that mean? I don't know what that stuff means. So we're going to go back to value. Yeah, because it's going to keep on, it doesn't keep on damaging you. That's why we have a buff here. So maybe if we give them 1 damage, it'll begin. It won't. But it might, but it won't. All right, so we took away drown, and then what we have to do is program one of these things to be drown. Oh, did we not name it? Remember, what is this? This is nothing. Discover, sniper, water. Oh yeah, we never made one for drown, so we're gonna drown the person. Trigger function, trigger player. We're going to apply a buff, and then we're going to say drown that person. right, so that's just going to be the only thing on there. So apply buff, drown, then back, and then, so now we have to get out of here, come back in. So this top one's going to be drown. So we have drown, and then we got water exit. So what do we have to do on water exit? Is there anything different that we need to make sure of water exit? We're going to just remove those buffs. It should, hopefully it'll remove both those buffs without us having to do extra, button pressing. So test game. No, I'm just going to kill myself. I'm in Mount Ulysses. It's not worth it. Oh, gotta run again. Back over here by Dracos. Alright, 117 health. See you in the next life, brother man. Alright. Okay, it's still not working. Okay. So, we're gonna need to do another buff somehow. So let's figure out how we can make this work. So, this top field, we're gonna turn this back to water. And then we're gonna go back into our event editor. And for water, we're going to add drown again. So we're going to apply that buff to this top one, and then this lower one, let me see. This lower one here, we're going to add, I don't know, let's just add shop buffs. Let's go to a buff. Let's make another buff. Let's just make some random buff. Oh yeah, we could just we'll add something else to it. We'll add a buff, some random buff. We won't show it, but we'll put a name to it. It's the debug. We'll just call it a debug field. And then whatever, F it. And then we will just, 10-second little thing. It doesn't need to take too long. Then we're going to have no icon, no color. It's not going to notify. It's going to stay hidden. We're going to remove it on death. Well, it doesn't really matter. And now what are we going to do? We're going to do a damage scale multiplier. That's what we'll do. We will do a 100%, a 105, just to make it go over, so maybe that's the reason why it happened before. So we'll just do damage scale multiplier. No. Yeah. 105. And that'll just be for, just 10 seconds. Who cares? Oh, let's do this. The first 10 seconds here. No. Let's do 300%. Then your gun breaks, First, 3 seconds you're in there, your gun breaks. Okay, cool. So now we need to make an event out of it, right? Because what did we just do? We made a debug. So now we need to make an event for the debug. So we're going to add an event. We're going to do trigger function, triggering player, apply buff. And then we're going to get the debug. And then we will come back here. And we don't have to remove it because it's only 10 seconds. Yes, that happened. We have to lower the water field, top one. So this one up here is too high. So you lower it back to its original position, which is right there. And we potentially need to lower the drown field just because it might be activating too soon. That could be true. So let's do that just to, no. We're just gonna do one at a time. That's how you troubleshoot, you guys. To figure out what the real, issue is, you have to do one thing at a time, or else you risk saying, oh, maybe it was that one or that one, and then you don't really know the answer. So let's figure out the answer. All right, we're right here at the water. Dope. All right, so let's jump in. So that was too fast. So it's not killing me yet. So let's make the field a little bit smaller so that we have some time to pass to the first field and it activate, and then the next field should probably activate too. All right, and just to make sure that we're not changing anything too much, we'll switch everything back on the buffs to the same as our expert rifle DNA. So expert rifle DNA is 900 seconds though, max stack, notify and remove on death. Okay, so we'll have it notified. Okay, so maybe that's a thing. Maybe that's a thing that's preventing it. So we'll notify and we'll have it remove on death because those both things are chosen there. And 300% max stack count. Okay, blah blah blah. And we'll take it from hidden and we'll give the death. Let's test the game like this, and then we'll move the field. Like we said, we'll distance them. All right, let's jump back in. Oh, we're right over here at Dracos. Be careful, these spikes will kill you. Dracos is a ferocious dragon. Come on, get in there. Okay, it's not working. Let's go back out. All right, now let's move them. All right, so let's move the top one so that we can access the lower one. And we can access the lower one. It's fine with me because now we can have it below a little bit. how low is this? So I want it to be about right here. Maybe. Yeah, so I'll have it about, maybe I'll make it go down a little lower. Where the heck is the thing? Oh, it's right there. So I'll have it go lower to about here. Yeah, we'll do that. And then we'll take this one and lower it to its regular position. So let me see what this looks like. All right. Let's test it. We've now distanced them from one another. I'm a zombie again. Nope, still too fast, or either I'm messing up something else. It's easy to overlook something, especially when you're me. So let's see if we overlooked anything. Sometimes I overlook things, checking to see if I overlooked something. So let's see, event editor. We have the events here, we have the debug here, we have the fields here. So let's see what this field says. Water, water, exit. This one says, that's what we didn't do. We didn't debug. Let's turn it to debug. That would be very helpful, you guys. So let's do an actual test this time. Debug, and then exit function is going to be nothing. All right, guys. So now that we actually have that set to debug, let's actually move it back up and do an actual test to see if, well, we'll move it underneath the water because I do kind of like it to where it's like that too, so you can't see that part of the water. So yeah, so we'll do it like this. It's still really close to one another. So let's run that test. Run that test or run them fake. No, I'm doing. All right, I'm in the freaking vents. Jeez, I hate this place. Okay, we got out. Running. Careful right there. There is a fall trap right here. You will die instantly if your face gets underneath that floor. What's up, Dracos? How you doing, bro? Careful, Dracos. It's dangerous here. So I usually go this way. Walk over them. You can get inside of them too. Up there, you see? You can go inside. You can go inside these boxes. You can loot them. Guys, make dungeons with me. Make more dungeons. More dungeons are needed in life. All right, let's get in here. Debug time. It's working now. You guys, we figured it out. Now let's see if it turns off when we go outdoor. I figured out water drowning just now. Ooh. Okay, guys, so we figured out water drowning. Oh yeah. So now y'all gonna drown in my water. Just in case y'all don't know how to swim, make sure y'all do this.